back to Between the Ribs with Jonathan Morris on Florida Man Radio.
So I think we have come to the time of the show when I tell you a little bit about myself.
Yeah, who are you?
Well, I'm Jonathan Morris. Y'all know that. For all the new people, Morris Family Farms Organic Meats drives the show. And we are a local butcher in Seminole County. Grew up in South Florida, and then we moved our farm and our family up to Seminole County, and we're embedded in this town. And we kind of got one foot in North Florida, up in the Panhandle. We love Fort Walton. I'm looking at some land up there, trying to eventually buy some. Not necessarily in the near future. We still got kids in high school and middle school.
You're not allowed to move or leave.
Yeah, we're not leaving anytime soon. But as we get older, I do want a fully functional, operational farm deal in the Fort Walton area for everybody up there.
Oh, a franchise.
Yeah. For the meantime, we go up every 6 weeks. We'll be up there on August 12th. I got to finalize all the details, but we are coming up August 12th. We're throwing a big barbecue party. Going to be doing a meat pickup. If you like fresh, clean, I hate the word organic because it's been so watered down, and
it doesn't mean what we've been told that it means.
Right. If you take the real definition of organic and today's organic word, they are not the same. They are polar opposites. But it's manipulation, it's desecration, and it's just a play to get you to spend money on something that isn't any better for you. Like it's been scientifically proven in tests and studies and residual studies and pesticide level studies that organic produce has just the same amount, if not more, pesticides as commercially, old, whatever they call conventional type growing. But so if you want good, clean, like right now we're pulling apples out of North Carolina, fresh right off the tree.
Oh my God, they're so good.
You ate some of that?
Yes.
They're fantastic, right? So we have fruits and vegetables for the people that want that. We also got eggs and butter, but we had the best beef, pork, chicken in the land. We take pride in how we raise it. We work with one other farm that raises the same standards we do. So you can call 407-402-5686, get more information or place an order. We have multiple ways to buy. You can buy a steak or 8 pound of ground beef. You can even buy a half pound of ground beef. Or you can buy a half cow, a whole cow, a quarter cow. We have a beef box bundle right now. It's $500, and you get 10 packs of ground beef, 5 ribeyes, 5 T-bones, 5 sirloins, 5 chuck roast, and 5 packs of beef tips for either stew or beef tips and rice or however you want to make it.
Wow.
For $500. So jump on that. I'm only cutting 10 of them. I'm going to see how it goes. And then after those 10 are sold, we may cut more, we may not. So get in on that. 407-402-5686 or go to organicmeats.com. It's just an online store. There's nothing fancy there. It's just 4 or 5 options. We have some specials if you're listening, part of the Florida Man Radio family. We have some specials for that. You can check that out. Feel free to click on that if you're watching on YouTube or if you're listening on the radio. And then something else we got, our first ever live interactive YouTube show is right after the show.
What?
Oh, you bet. What you mean what? You better be ready. You better be ready. So when the show goes off at 5-ish, because sometimes we end a little before 5, a little after 5, depends on commercial breaks and whatnot. But after the show goes off, I want you to jump over to
Between the Ribs 10
on the YouTube.
On YouTube.
Between the Ribs 10 on YouTube. You can do it on your laptop, your phone, your iPad, whatever, and join the show. So we're going to be live, Heather and I, and we're going to have guests on and people on responding, asking questions. The name of the show is Clean the Plate. We're going to wrap up the week, wrap up the show. We may go into a little more in depth on conversations we've already had this week. Or if you have something you want to know, a question for your farmer, a question for Heather, jump on, and it's going to be live engagement. My wife, Amy, Mama Morris, is going to be on with a laptop. So I'm going to have multiple people, Heather, myself, and Amy, who can answer you, talk to you. I'm going to be on. It's going to be live. You're going to be able to see us, be able to respond to us. It's going to be a great show. So the after party, after the party, after the party.
Where we clean the plate.
Clean the plate. There was a saying that I used to live by before I got married. It was kind of, it could be disrespectful, but if you understand the deep Spanish culture, it's not. In English, It sounds really bad. In Spanish, it sounds very romantic. and I don't know how to say it in Spanish anymore because once I stopped working in the cornfields in South Florida, my dialect, I butcher it. But
Wow,
in English,
Pahokee in Spanish.
it is interpreted as if you look like you, or if you cook like you look, I'll eat the plate.
I don't cook.
Well,
I mean, I know that wasn't an offer to me. I'm
not
just
eating your
saying,
plate
like,
anyway.
yeah,
but if you speak very good Spanish, please get on the show and let me know the Spanish translation in Spanish. If you cook like you look, I'll eat the plate. Let me know. Let me know. Is that appropriate? Can you talk to women like that these days? No? What?
I think that's probably pretty rude.
Really? I think that's a compliment.
I mean, it'd be a compliment if you're saying that like to your wife or something, but like you wouldn't.
But
go,
I already
like,
know how she cooks and looks. This is like a catch line. Like, hey, you want to go get some chicken? And then they're like, no. And you're like, what? You don't like chicken?
I don't know.
I left out the other word. Anyways, I don't condone that behavior anymore. Be a gentleman. Have some chivalry. Get on one knee and ask a lady to marry her the day you meet her. See how that goes. Old school, baby.
You'll scare her.
Or just have your parents line up your marriage. Have an arranged marriage. Who needs dating? I'll tell you what's not appropriate. You ready for this?
Yes.
Small town Georgia. The night that the lights went out in Georgia. Thompson, Georgia, Mayor Benjamin Benji Carey Cranford. That's a Georgia name right there, ain't it? Hey, everybody, I'm Benjamin. You can call me Benji Carey Cranford. 52-year-old mayor of Thompson, Georgia, just got indicted on Wednesday and arrested by the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. Ask me why, Heather.
Why?
Well, he went on down to the liquor store in McDuffie County, and he bought a bottle of extra dry Seagram's gin. Not a bad thing to do when you're the mayor.
Okay.
Except
Gin is disgusting.
Okay. In Georgia, they got a lot of road crews, prison road crews. They go out on the roads and work.
Right.
You see them all with the van behind them and the shotgun man. So he went down a certain road on Cobham Road in Thompson, Georgia, to be exact. Cobham Road in Thompson, Georgia, and stopped and laid that bottle of Seagram's in a ditch.
He littered?
No, it wasn't open. It was an unopened bottle of gin. He laid it there so the next day when the road crew went out to work, they could pick it up and have them a nice bottle of gin.
Because that's what you should be doing, is getting drunk while you're picking up litter.
Wait a
with
second.
a guy in a shotgun behind you. Like, okay, make sense.
But here's the part you're missing. You're an inmate in prison. Somebody's going to throw you a bottle of gin. I ain't mad at you for picking it up and drinking it. Let's rewind that the person was not Tom Joe Blow from down the street that got Uncle Willie incarcerated, throwing Uncle Willie some gin.
I already forgot who it was.
It was the mayor of the town, the mayor of Thompson.
See, you could totally run as a mayor.
I know.
I mean, if that can happen.
I can be this guy. Here's my problem with the whole story. They got his mugshot up. He looks like he would buy gin and throw it in ditches for inmates. He was taken into custody. He is bonded out on $5,000 bail. Not a big crime to introduce contraband into a prison system or a prison inmate. It is a felony, but it was a $5,000 bond. But here's the problem. We understand that the charges in this case are not related to the daily duties of the mayor. So he has not yet been suspended until further investigation.
Oh, okay. He did it off the clock, so he's okay.
But I don't understand how that can happen. So you're the mayor. You're an elected official in a town, in a city.
I mean, drunk inmates sounds like a bad idea anyway.
And you buy alcohol and you introduce it or you make it available for inmates. Shouldn't that disqualify you from being mayor immediately?
They'll vote for him.
Is that what he's doing? He's buying votes?
I mean, wait.
They're inmates. They can't vote.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can when they get out, unless they have a felony.
And even if you have a felony, a lot of people don't talk about this, but even if you have a felony, after either 3 or 5 years, as long as you haven't committed a crime, they reinstore or reinstate your right to vote.
Okay, well.
It's much harder to get your weapons back, but they reinstate your right to get votes. But the biggest part of the story is, and this is crazy to me, so in order to run for mayor, he had to finish out and pay off a lawsuit that had been filed against him because he owns a paving contractor. He was a former paving contractor before he became a political guy. And he had several lawsuits out from bonding companies that he didn't finish work he got paid for. And some of the supplies he bought to do his jobs, he never paid the vendors.
Oops.
And then he's like, hey, I'm going to run for mayor. And they're like, well, you can't. You got all these lawsuits. So somebody came up with the money to help him pay off all his lawsuits and got him elected in Georgia as a mayor. And then he bought alcohol and laid it in a ditch strategically for inmates to pick up, and then got caught doing it. And he's still the mayor. Again, party over principle. Why has this guy not been removed? Why has he not been removed from office?
Nobody's investigating it?
He's been arrested.
Everybody likes him? I don't know.
Yeah. They made reference to the story, and I don't want to continue too far into the story, but they made reference about other political people or former political people that had been arrested for felonies and had been disqualified from ballots, not allowed to be in ballots. But yet this guy is still mayor and hasn't been forced to resign or put on suspension yet. Now, they may do something in the weeks to come now that it's made national news.
I mean, Jonathan, way to throw him under the bus.
Yeah, I know, right? And for all the inmates out there, I applaud you for picking up the bottle and drinking it. Something else to ponder.
Okay, continue.
You're doing a hard time.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you blame them?
Do they want to get out?
Maybe
I
not.
mean, you behave if you want to get out.
No, you're right. You're right. They probably got kicked off the work crew, and they probably went back to regular jail.
Sounds like good times.
Here's something I want to ponder. 80% increase. That's a big number, right? Is that a big number?
Yeah. In what?
In purchasing a home. So my daughter right now is looking for an apartment, kind of branching out, getting on her own. And she looked at one place and applied for it. They want her to prove 2.5 times. So her income, let me try to word this properly. Her income has to be 2.5 times the amount of her rent to be eligible to get this apartment, which makes sense. They want to make sure you can afford it.
Right.
So if an apartment's $1,000, they want you making at least $2,500 a month to rent that apartment. All right. The typical salary needed by an American in, my brain died. In 2020, you had to make $59,000 for a bank to give you a mortgage on a house. All right? That was the typical average salary to be eligible to get a mortgage on an average home in America. You had to have a household income of $59,000.
Okay.
In 2024, for a bank to give you an eligibility slip, a pre-approval to buy a home, you have to make, on average, $106,500. That's an 80% increase your salary has to be in 4 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Know before you go. We're a long ways off from November, 70-some days, but know before you go. Understand where we're at as people and society and what it costs us to own and to have stuff based on policies they've implemented in us. How are we on time?
We need to go.
Oh, we got to go. Sorry. Hey, jump over to YouTube. Between the Ribs 10 on YouTube. We're going to close this out, and then we're going to be over there to clean up the plate, and we're going to continue this topic. And then Organic Meats, 407-402-5686. Check us out.
You now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth.